We now have somebody who's going to come on. I'm going to introduce Gideon Klein in a second. And Gideon is someone I've been working with for a while. Gideon is actually a businessman, a startup founder, and as well as that, a stand-up comedian. And he's got some interesting insights that he would like to share about what his experience is. I'm going to bring in Gideon into the feed now. Gideon, there, you hear us okay?
Yep. Hello, everybody.
Excellent. Yeah, Gideon, where are you based now? Are you based in Connecticut or are you in Brooklyn?
I am, at the current moment, I'm in Connecticut.
You're in Connecticut.
I've been in Brooklyn for most of the lockdown.
Excellent.
A little fresh air out here. Clear the mind.
Excellent. Good to hear. Good to hear. So I'd like to get your insights on what you've been learning during this downtime.
Well, I've been researching what are some of the best industries you want to be in at this time. And I found the 5 best industries to be in right now are pharmacies, grocery stores, teleworking software, tech support, I assume, for the teleworking software, and cannabis. I mean, legal sales of cannabis are up 142% during this shutdown. And that's just legal. Who knows how much the illegal sale has been up. So I'm not advocating criminal activity, but it looks like selling weed legally or illegally is probably the safest bet for the future.
Excellent.
And obviously, we know all of these online co-working and meeting software platforms are doing well, and they're all hiring. Zoom, Microsoft Teams, GoToMeetings, Click Meetings, WebEx, BlueJeans, Join.me, Intermedia, Any Meetings, Zoho Meetings, Ring Central Meetings, and probably the platform we're on right now, StreamYard. So those are plenty of companies with lots of openings. And the interesting thing about that is you can sell remote working software remotely. I think that's a very fun. And obviously, remote working is going to continue. It's going to continue being a huge thing even after this is over. So I put together a slide deck with the 10 best reasons to remote work, or the advantages to remote working, and we're going to go through those slides now. Okay, next slide. Obviously, one of the best reasons to work at home is you can stay in your pajamas all day long. And in fact, you don't really have to wear pants at all, as long as you're clothed from the waist up. The waist up is really all you need. Next slide. Catch up on some of those great take a half hour here and there and catch up. I mean, my personal favorite was Sanford and Son. I don't know about you guys.
News Radio was one of my faves that I just caught up on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's one. Next slide. Take a nap. Here and there. It's you. A lot of us are not getting enough sleep these days, so just take a nap. Make sure to set your notifications so when you have to show up on Slack, you're alerted and you can wake up quickly. Next slide. Everybody's got those creepy coworkers you had to deal with. Not anymore, right? You're working at home. That is not a problem anymore. Next slide. No commuting. Who's missing this?
Nobody.
Not this one. Not this one.
Nobody.
I mean, is anybody eager to get back to this? I don't think so. So remote working, this is a significant advantage. Next slide. Everybody's got that boss who pisses you off all the time. When you're home, you can grab a pillow and punch it. No reason to sit there and fume and hurt yourself. Just get it out.
Right.
Next slide. No one's going to steal your lunch when you're working at home. You don't have to label
That's imperative.
On it. Yeah, very important. Next slide. I don't even have to I don't even have to elaborate on this one. Next
Well, that's
slide.
not true.
Well,
Depends
if
on
you
who your
live alone.
partner is, I guess. Yeah.
I'll put it that if you live alone, and hopefully, if you live with someone else, maybe you have more than one bathroom. I don't know, but in my case, I live alone. So this is my favorite one because you can't dance at work while you're working. So when you're at home, no one knows if you're dancing while you're on the phone. So I
That
recommend
is so true.
practicing dance moves. And this last one, next slide, is obviously the most important. CDC guidelines, or advising against any intimate contact. So take time to love yourself. Very important. Great stress reliever, and good for your
Oh
health.
dear.
Okay, so
Well,
that's it for the slides. Everyone stay safe.
That's great.
thank you, Gideon. Thank you for that amazing insight. You've
have
obviously been putting all this time to very good use.
We've got a few other things. We talked about certifications. Take time to get a certification now. Here's a couple of possibilities. You can become a gemologist. Learn the 4 C's: color, clarity, cut, and carat weight. People are going to be very superstitious, and gems are going to be very important. You can become a Pokemon professor. Did you even know that existed?
I didn't know that.
And organize Pokemon
That can't be real. No.
events and tournaments. That is a real thing.
Oh,
Become
Lord.
a dog psychologist, because it's not just us that's suffering now. Dogs are having a very hard time as well. They're going to need therapy when this is over. And this one's my favorite. You become a beer judge. With all the different craft beers, you need someone to explain the difference between lagers, pilsners, IPA, pale ales. You get in fact, they now have sommeliers for beer. It's called a cicerone. So
who knew?
Go out and get your beer certification.
Wow.
And when we are actually able to have live events again, remember there's only going to be like 10 people at a time allowed in a room. So if you're going to be speaking on a subject, you want to make it a very niche subject. So I have a couple of recommendations: Gregorian chants, 17th century Middle Eastern pottery, perhaps, bread making, Yiddish theater. No way you get more than 10 people interested in it. And obviously, online learning is going to be really big. You want to turn your passion into cash by teaching other people. Some of the things are crochet, cooking classes, how to cook with canned foods
Actually, I need some of them.
Yeah, drunk acting. There's lots of acting classes, but none that's focused on how to pretend you're drunk while you're acting. So I think that's
okay.
And if things go really bad, you can start a course in, say, gun readiness, supply hoarding, or even cooking classes for when we start eating each other. So we will need recipes for serving here. Okay. And on that note, I think I'm done.
Well, look, thank you so much. Give it up, everybody, for Gideon Klein, our guest comedian today, also startup founder and businessman. And obviously, you've been putting this time to good use. So thank
I'm
you.
getting my Pokemon professor certification today. Yeah.
That's important.
Thank you, Gideon. Appreciate that. Thank you for that, and we'd love to have you back again. We'll see if we can actually do that. So appreciate your time.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much, and
Thank you.
have a good
much.
day. You sound like you've got a couple of things there that you can actually get into. So I'd like to hear a report back on how some of those activities went.
I'm keeping myself busy. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thanks very much. Give it up, everybody, for Gideon Klein. Thank you very much.
That was great.
Right.
He's amazing.